The guy not only was a Frenchman, but he like ran the French for Trump campaign. I love this. Phillipe Karsenty is here. He is a French politician, a political commentator, and he also spoke for Republicans in France. And I'd love to welcome you to the Dennis Prager Show. Phillipe Karsenty, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
It is always nice to chat and get another perspective. We obviously know what's going on with our media in this country, but let's start with you. You decide that the Republican message is right. You say, President Trump, he has something here. How do you become a spokesperson for Republicans and Donald Trump in France and in Europe? How does that happen?
Well, our president, Paul Reyne in France, the president of Republicans in France, we've been working for years together. And a few years ago, he asked me to be able to go and reach people in the French mainstream media in order to convey the message in a French message, in order to really reach the people and make people understand that Trump's policies are the right one, but not only that, in order to influence the French political sphere and to make sure that maybe we can have kind of a French Trump in the future.
I love it. A French Trump. I would love to see that. And before we get into the election and some of your experiences, I have to know what it was like to be a Trump supporter, a spokesperson in Europe. I mean, it's hard enough to be a female Trump supporter on the radio in Los Angeles. How were you received in Europe? How are his ideas being received?
Well, it was fight.
I love
it. Look, it was strange because, first we had to fight in order to be invited. You had like TV shows like with 5 or 6 speakers. All of them were telling us that Trump is Hitler, Trump is a fascist, Trump hates women, all of this kind of fake news. And we had to fight in order to be in their studios. And when we were in their studio, every time they were cutting our voice, we couldn't talk. We couldn't talk. They were interrupting our conversation, and they were telling so many nonsenses that it was. I had, when I came in the studio, I had, well, wait a minute, I have to come back and say, okay, this what you said 5 minutes ago is fake. And then you had to use lots of strategies to convey your message. And I must say that most of the time, I must have killed at least 3 or 4 of the 5 enemies.
Wow. I respect that. So basically real-time fact-checking and just continuing the fight. And it's amazing because here in our country, what's happened is they push so much fake news that people actually start hearing the truth because they overplayed their cards. It sounds like that's what the media is doing there too.
Yeah. The thing is that we don't have huge, powerful, I would say, side media like you or like Joe Rogan or some other. I mean, it was problematic because, for example, when they were saying, yes, Trump said that Liz Cheney should be killed, you had to go on TV and explain what's not true.
Right.
When he said, I want to protect women no matter what they want, well, he had to explain that it was not forcing, but he just wanted to have them safer, So and when he said there were nice people on both sides, you have to explain them that it was not a Nazi-like, support. So it's very, very difficult. But from time to time, I got some personal messages, sometimes from my own neighbors who used to say, well, how can you support Trump? He's such a Nazi. And from time to time, I got other messages. Well, you convinced me because I understood that I was brainwashed. I was gaslighted by the mainstream media outlets.
We've got about a minute left in this segment. You're going to stick around with us. But I do want to ask, what was that message? What was the one that Trump had that resonated most amongst you and his supporters in France?
Let me tell you, the most powerful message I got was that who are the people who want Kamala Harris to be elected, or who are the most. So if you, on one side, you have Iran, the Chinese Communist Party, Russia, all the dictatorships, all the bad guys wanted Kamala because they wanted, a fake and a weak politician.
Yeah.
On the other side, you had the good people. I mean, the people for the free market, free speech, Israel, all the good people were supportive of Trump. So when I just showed them, this, I say, wait a minute. In which side would you like to be?
Right. And you asked him that. Now, we're going to dig more into, again, the European reaction, some news stories as well coming from there, Amsterdam and others. Phillipe Karsenty is with us. He is a French politician, political commentator, and a spokesperson for Republicans in France. And it is exciting to chat with you and get that perspective. So stick around. Jennifer Horn in for Dennis Prager. This is the Dennis Prager Show. Let's talk about the broad picture. You're abroad. You're looking into our election. You're looking into 2024. What did you think would happen? And was this it?
Well, when Trump got his bullet on the ear, I was called on TV. I spent like 3 hours on TV. And they said, no, Trump won the election. I said, no, wait a minute. We don't know who's going to be his opponent. And they say, well, it's Joe Biden. I said, no, it's not going to be Joe Biden.
Smart.
Okay. So then when they shifted from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris, I said, so it's game over. He won because she won the selection inside the Democrat Party by really cheating or whatever she did. But no, I said he will win. And people looked at me and I repeated the message for 3 months and a half. He will win. It's obvious. Just listen to her in English on YouTube or whatever. You will see that this woman, she is not able to become the American president. So I published, I said on TV, I was even asked by French journalists, what is your anticipation? I say 99% of the chance that he will win. I said he will win the popular vote as well. He will win the Senate and the House of Representatives. I mean, from abroad, when you're not gaslighted by the media as you've been here, you can see that the picture is so obvious. I've been calling some of my friends. I have so many French friends who immigrated to America, who of course became Democrats as soon as they arrived.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been calling them. I say, so what are you going to do this year? And they say, wait, I hate Trump, but I will vote for him. It's a no-brainer. So that's why I was so sure of it. And in France, when we were debating people with my colleague Nicolas Conquier, we were 2 people fighting for the truth in France and MAGA. And when we were debating, it was so, we were fighting people who were so much lighting. And when they were saying, oh, Kamala is joy, she's such a great person. She's such, she was a governor. She was a senator.
Sure.
She was an attorney. It was insane because you could listen to her and you could see that it was not true.
Yeah.
So my anticipation, and here, let me give you something which happened to me yesterday. I went to an Italian restaurant, Amici, it's on North Doheny. And when the owner saw that we were defending Trump and I had Trump documents on the table, he brought the dessert and he said, it's on me.
Well, even this is true, though, Phillipe, even in California, which is so deeply blue, I think at last count, Trump flipped 8 counties in California. This is huge. He picked up, he tightened the margin. Back in 2020, Joe Biden had over 11 million votes and Donald Trump had somewhere around 3 million votes. Now, Kamala's at 7, he's at 4. They're separated by about 2.5 million votes. It is a tightened margin. Yes, you'll say he lost and he lost handily and California's blue, but people are waking up. And I think a lot of that must be happening in Europe too. We were talking on the break about potential candidates that are on your landscape that could maybe move France into this more MAGA, even though I guess we'd call it MAFA, make France great again.
And I said also mega. Make Europe
great again. That's better. We want a mega MAGA right over there.
Because France is something, but Europe is more important if you look at it. Look, it's we have a problem in France because, the National Front, Marine Le Pen, refused to endorse or to support Donald Trump. I think things are changing. I'm getting messages, emails from people from the National Front telling me, well, we're interested in knowing more about what you're doing. So it's positive. We also have Éric Ciotti, who used to be the president of the right-wing party Les Républicains in France, who's supportive, but he's been supportive of Trump since day one. So that's great. We don't really know, but we need really a French Donald Trump in order to, shake everything, reverse the table, and fight the media, because we're fighting. The problem with the propaganda in the media outlets is that even, after we won on Wednesday, when we won on Wednesday morning French time.
Yes.
I was expelled from a French studio. No more freedom of speech. Because I was telling them, look, wait a minute. He won. Stop telling we're expecting the count. And I said, stop demonizing him.
Right.
They were calling me a criminal, a sexual predator, Hitler. And I said, please stop it now. And then they expelled me from the studio. They were so upset because we were able, with Nicolas, my friend, and me, Nicolas Conquier, we were able to show them that they were ridiculous, that they have been lying to the French audience. So it's...
Do you see the pushback, though? So they may be doing that at the news media, and that's what they've been doing in our news media as well, right? Is vilifying him, vilifying his supporters. But there is this sense where wokeism took over so much here that there's now a pushback towards it. Is that starting to happen in Europe?
Well, not yet. Here the wokeism is amazing because, we've seen it from Europe. And in France, we're having it, but I would say we have it lower. I mean, we didn't have so big pro-Hamas and pro-Hezbollah demonstration. We didn't have so many transgenders stories and whatever. We had some of them, and we had, you've seen the Olympic Games ceremony, which was ridiculous, but it's not they didn't go as far as you went here. When I was on TV, I was completely disrupting the TV station when I was saying, do you know what is the best achievement of Tim Walz? No, putting tampons in men's bathroom. Oh, and they were under shock because this is something we're not even thinking about in France. And here, when you explain this to French people, they say, wait, some people have common sense and they cannot accept.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, at the end of the day, the polls about the election, only 13% of the French people said that they would vote for Trump.
Your job right now, you're fired up, and we're up against a break. But Phillipe, you're incredible. You're going to bring some of this mega MAGA to Europe, and we can't wait to watch you do that. Thanks so much for being with us.
For the full episode of The Dennis Prager Show, go to pragertopia.com, sign up, and become a full member.